So what are JVs? Traditionally, JVs or joint venture partners simply referred to people who came together to cooperate and share in a business venture. Today, especially in the internet marketing or IM world, it means something a little different. JV has actually become shorthand for affiliate, or someone who sends traffic to your offer and is paid a commission for each sale they make. Frankly, this has caused a little confusion because even in IM, you can still have a JV partnership in the traditional sense. For example, if you have a video course and ebook you created but no skills or means for getting it online, you could partner with someone who will do the web design and development and split the profits 50-50. The fact that those two JV partners will usually start recruiting affiliates to drive traffic to their product while calling those affiliates JVs makes things even more confusing. Especially when you consider that those two JV partners in the traditional sense will split profits after payouts are made to their JVs or affiliates in the new sense of the word. This happens all the time in IM, and so it's difficult to know what a person means when they say, "Would you like to be my JV?" But today, for whatever reason, 9 times out of 10, a person simply means affiliate. Honestly, conflating the terms was a horrible mistake on the part of the IM community. That said, since it's become the norm, in this guide we'll be using the term JV to refer to affiliates. Clear as mud? Good, let's move on. So let's talk about why JVs are better than paid ads for your product launch. There's plenty of ways to drive traffic today, but generally when you need to drive large amounts of it, you'll be using paid methods. In many industries, the standard is, of course, paid advertising methods such as pay-per-click, or PPC. Now this is a little bit risky because you're paying out money for traffic without a guarantee that those clicks you paid for will convert to sales. So you're risking loss and you have little or no control over what your ROI will be. For example, you might pay $200 for 2 clicks and only make $210 from the handful of sales you made. It's great that you at least broke even, but you had no control over that outcome. And in the next campaign, you might make back even less than you spent. You can still make this model work, obviously, but it requires a lot of testing, tweaking, adjusting, and a ton of ad spend just to get to the point where you've optimized and gained better control over your expected ROI. That's perfectly fine if you're a big business with a huge advertising budget, but not so much if you're an independent online entrepreneur. Now compare that model to the JV or affiliate model. When you do a JV-driven product launch, you don't have to worry about ad spend. You're only paying for successful sales after they happen, and you know in advance what amount you're paying per sale. You also don't have to spend any time or money testing and tweaking and targeting. You're handing all that hard work over to the JVs with their own lists and their own audiences that they already know well and know how to pitch and market to. When you compare the two, clearly the JV or affiliate model holds an advantage, especially if you're an independent entrepreneur and not a business with a big advertising budget. Bottom line, if you want to launch a digital product, you need JVs sending traffic to your offer, or you can kiss your dreams of having a big buyers list goodbye. The question is, how do you attract these JVs? It all starts with having an awesome JV recruiting page, and that's what we'll cover next. Now, before you start generating buzz about your launch among JVs, you need somewhere to send them. Now, theoretically, at an absolute minimum, you could send them directly to the JV or affiliate registration page for the marketplace or affiliate platform you're using, such as JVZoo or Warrior Plus. However, sending people directly to these affiliate details pages would be unlikely to encourage signups. Instead, what you need to do is show or tell them why they should promote your product, as well as provide them with tools and resources to help them promote your product as easily as possible. The way you do this is by creating a JV page. A JV page should ideally have the following components: an invite video, a visualization of your sales funnel, a breakdown of your commission model, a list of contest prizes, a contest leaderboard, an opt-in form for your JV email list, a collection of done-for-you bonuses, a bonus page template, a supply of email swipes, a collection of banners and graphics, a JV blog, a link to a sales page preview, and a prominent affiliate sign-up button. Let's take a look at each of these more closely. Your JV invite video is the most effective if it features you in talking head format. You should describe your product thoroughly as well as all the details of your launch. This means you should mention your funnel and commission model, your contests and prizes, and so on. Ultimately, your video should end by thanking JVs for considering your launch and repeating your invitation, specifically with an explicit call to action to sign up as an affiliate. Now let's talk about your funnel and commission model. Your sales funnel diagram would typically be the same place that you lay out your commission model. Ideally, you should have a graphical representation of each step in your funnel indicating all the upsells and downsells along with the commission percentage for each of those steps, and the price of each of those products. Include any different pricing options you have for each of those products. You may specify what each step or product is on this diagram, or it's also acceptable to simply label them as OTO 1 or OTO 2, but expect some JVs to contact you and ask you what those OTOs are. Now usually your contest and leaderboard will be together in the same section. You'll want to show images of your contest prizes if they're physical items, as well as other details. For example, if you're offering cash alternatives for people who don't want the physical prizes. If you have a minimum sales requirement for each prize, list those clearly. But be warned, a lot of JVs don't like minimum requirements. As for the leaderboard, you'll want that posted above or below the contest info. You can manually update the leaderboard yourself periodically, or you can use an embedding tool that automatically updates it based on the data from JVZoo, Warrior Plus, or whatever affiliate marketplace you're using. It's not necessary to show the number of sales the contestants are making on that leaderboard, and most marketers tend to keep this private. Next up, the JV email opt-in form. You're going to want to update your JVs every day on how the launch is going, and to encourage them to keep promoting. To do this, you'll need their email address. You should have an easily visible opt-in form for JVs to sign up. An added benefit of this is that on later launches, you'll have a list of JVs that you can email and notify about your upcoming launches. In order to make life easier on your JVs and encourage them to promote and help them get higher conversions, you should provide done-for-you bonuses. These can simply be repurposed PLR or MRR content. Obviously, check the licenses and make sure you can use these as bonuses. And you'll simply place these into a zip file and provide a download link on the JV page. For a course on how to make these bonuses look gorgeous and appealing, see our Viking bonus creation course. Once you've got your bonuses, you'll want to go the extra mile and create a bonus page template. This simply means creating an HTML or WordPress page with those bonuses on them, maybe some images and a few headlines about your product, with a call to action stating something like, grab these bonuses when you buy product X through our link. You then place this into a zip file, and your JVs can simply upload it to their website and drive traffic to that bonus page. You can either hire someone on Fiverr to create a basic page like this, or use an easy web builder like OptimizePress 2.0 to build it yourself and export the page as an OP2 template. But keep in mind, not all of your JVs necessarily have OP2. Next up, email swipes and graphics. Affiliates are lazy. Yep, it's true. Just like you need to provide done-for-you bonuses and bonus pages to them, you also need to provide pre-written emails for them to use. You may find this hard to believe, but if you look closely at the promotional emails in your inbox, and then look at the JV pages for those products, you'll notice that even famous high-level marketers often use pre-written swipes from JV pages. Why? Because it takes time to write a good sales email, and even more to fill your email marketing schedule with a whole series of them. Providing JVs with email swipes allows them to copy and paste promotional emails, and simply tweak them a bit to make them more unique. I'm not saying all JVs care about email swipes, but for many of them, this definitely makes your launch more attractive. At a minimum, you should have 1 email for each day of your launch, but 2 per day is better, and having 4 or 5 scarcity-based ones for the last 48 hours of the launch is even better. In this same section, you can also add an assortment of graphics and banners for people to use in their blogs, sites, and even paid ad campaigns. These are probably used less often, but it's still worth having them. If you aren't sure what sizes or dimensions to provide, you can simply go to Google's AdWords advertising site and look at their guidelines for banner ad sizes. That's not because you're making these for Google, but simply because they cover a broad range of shapes and sizes that can be useful anywhere. Now, some will argue that having a blog is no longer necessary, since you can do all your updates via social media. And although a blog is certainly less necessary than it may previously have been, it's still a good idea to have a blog because people who aren't connected to you on social media may end up on your JV page, and will see that there are recent updates and exciting developments. Alternatively, you could embed a feed of some sort, like a Twitter feed, onto your JV page where you post these updates. Next, to give your affiliates an idea of how attractive your offer will be to their audience, you'll want to add a preview of your sales page. This also allows them to read up on the basics of your product so they can understand it better and write more detailed and accurate promotional content about it. Finally, there's the affiliate registration button. Arguably, the most important part of your JV page is this button. Make sure you have a big, bright, prominent button on your page inviting affiliates to request an affiliate link for your product. This should link to your affiliate registration details page on whichever affiliate platform or marketplace you're using. Now, a quick note on the layout of this site. A JV recruiting page can take various forms. Some of these are single, long pages with all these sections stacked top to bottom. Some are microsites with a main page and a menu bar at the top linking to other pages for things like swipes, bonuses, and contest info. Whatever form you decide to use, ensure the sections can be easily reached. One idea, if you use one long page, is to have a floating navigation bar on top that, when clicked, automatically shifts and scrolls the viewer to the appropriate section of the page. Once your page is complete, it's time to go find some affiliates, and that's what we'll cover next. So now that you have an awesome JV page up and ready, you need to send some JVs to it. Let's talk about where to find them. First up, there's launch announcement sites. Launch announcement sites are an excellent place to let JVs know about your upcoming launch. The two most popular ones are probably Muncheye and JV Notify. Both of these have a free level where you can list your upcoming launch publicly. However, to get an extra edge, you might opt to pay for added exposure on these sites. Both of them have paid options that will cause your JV recruiting ads to be more prominent and get more views. Next up, there's the affiliate marketplaces themselves. JVZoo, ClickBank, and Warrior Plus all have paid advertising options that will allow you to get your launch in front of potential JVs. The success rate and ROI of these advertisements will obviously vary quite a bit. After that, there's Facebook groups. You can also announce your launch in one of the many Facebook, JV, or launch announcement groups. These groups tend to be private, so you'll have to request to join each of them, and there's literally a ton of these Facebook groups out there. Many of these groups are like notice boards, where everybody posts their launch, but very few people read about launches, while others are more interactive and fruitful. Since it only takes a moment to post in each of these, you might as well post even in the lower quality ones, but just be aware that results will vary. Next up, arguably the quickest and easiest way to get a high-level JV on your team is to join their coaching program. Many internet marketing coaches offer to promote your product as part of their coaching package. However, you should typically do this well in advance of your launch, or even in advance of your product creation. This is because these coaches desire to work with active students and don't want their coaching programs to become affiliate for hire programs. Coaching programs tend to be very expensive, but they are often ironically less expensive and more effective than the above-mentioned paid ads that people often spend a little bit too much money on. So just keep that in mind the next time you're planning out a JV recruiting budget. Finally, one often overlooked source of potential JVs is your own audience. If you've already built an email list or a following on social media or your blog, there's a good chance that it may include affiliates who would be interested in promoting your launch. Definitely consider pitching the opportunity to them as well. So now that you have a JV page and you know where to find JVs, let's discuss some best practices. So there's a lot of best practices to keep in mind throughout the whole process of recruiting JVs. Abiding by these as much as you can will help you get the most out of your JV recruiting efforts. First up, timing. Probably one of the most important aspects of your JV recruiting is timing. If you're hoping to reach out to high-level JVs, you must do it well in advance. High-level affiliates usually have determined what launches they'll promote around 4 to 8 weeks in advance. At a minimum, you should approach these JVs 5 or 6 weeks in advance and have your product ready for them to review. For lower-level affiliates, earlier still tends to be better, but it's not as necessary, and many low to mid-level affiliates actually decide what they'll promote only a week or so in advance, and sometimes even the night before. Remember, affiliates tend to be lazy. After that, there's prizes. Prizes are an important part of your JV incentives. Although when given a choice, most affiliates will simply opt for a cash prize, it's still a good idea to have physical items on your prize list. These can be generic gadgets and gizmos, or prizes that are related to your product's theme. Obviously, a higher cash prize will attract and motivate more than a smaller one, but don't break the bank over prize money. Most JVs will still be more interested in how much they can make by promoting your product than they are in the prize money. As an added incentive, consider having extra contests for things like speed, such as whoever hits 25 sales fastest, or contests for each day of the launch. Next up, commission. If a buyer's list is your priority rather than profit, and it should be, then the indisputable best commission rate is 100%. 100% commission launches automatically pop out and appear more attractive when JVs are looking at upcoming launches to promote. Remember, your launch is not the only one out there. There's a bunch out there vying for affiliates. If an affiliate can make more money with other launches, he or she will just ignore yours. So if your front-end product is less than $20, you should seriously consider 100% commissions. You can always drop it to 50% after the launch. If your front-end product is higher than 20, then it's acceptable to offer something like 50% or 75%. But even in those cases, you really want to consider the 100% option. It will help you recruit JVs. And it will help keep them motivated during the launch so you can maximize the amount of customers you add to your buyer's list. And keep in mind, you're going to be making money on the back end as well. The most common commission rate for the rest of a funnel is 50%. Next up, you should be ready to give your JVs all the resources they need to effectively promote your launch. At a minimum, this should include the swipes, graphics, bonuses, and bonus page templates discussed above. These done-for-you resources make it easier to promote your launch, and more likely that they'll actually plug it into their schedule. Make sure they're all simple to use and attractive to the affiliate's audiences. However, there can be other types of resources as well, to give your JVs an even bigger edge. These can include demo videos for their JV page, free review copies or access, unique coupon codes for each affiliate to give out, pre-written blog content, and so on. Then there's the updates. Keeping your affiliates updated is absolutely critical. Updates should be sent out almost daily leading up to a launch, via email, social, or whatever your primary channel is. These pre-launch updates can include anything that motivates JVs to promote your launch. Some examples might include an email series on why this product will sell well, updates about high-profile affiliates joining the launch, updates about conversion-boosting additions such as the completion of a sales video, or anything that convinces JVs that your product will convert better. And ultimately, you need reminder or motivational emails telling your JVs to get ready on the eve of the launch. During the launch, updates should be going out at least daily across all channels, stressing the positive aspects of your product's performance. These are also an excellent opportunity to galvanize your JVs into action with a bit of teasing and provocation about who's beating who on the leaderboard. Trust me, a JV's leaderboard performance is part of his reputation in the industry. You poke fun at where they are on the leaderboard, there's a good chance they'll take the bait and put in some serious effort. Finally, there's reciprocation. Reciprocation belongs both at the beginning of the JV relationship and at the end of any given launch. What that means is that you can offer reciprocation in advance in order to get JVs on board. These advanced forms of reciprocation can include promises to place a marketer's offer in your post-launch autoresponder, members area, or bonus page. You can also offer some sort of freelancing work like video or copywriting as reciprocation. The second half of reciprocation comes after your launch in the form of delivering on promises and making an effort to promote their future launches in general. So now that you've learned what it takes to recruit affiliates, you need to start putting what you learned into action by implementing this battle plan right now. Step 1. Draft up a lucrative plan for your commission model, contest prizes, and other incentives. Step 2. Set up a thorough JV page with all of the elements mentioned in Chapter 2. And Step 3. Use the above-mentioned places to find or advertise to JVs well in advance of your launch, while keeping all the JV recruiting best practices you've just learned in mind throughout the whole process.